Hi guys, I am Eleanor. Welcome to my channel. Since the last video, do you have any new ideas for digital divide? We will explore digital divide in more depth in this video. How is it formed? How does it affect different groups of people? I will mainly use the method of comparison to discuss digital divide, find more professional details. The digital divide is the gap between the information rich and the information poor. It's a derivative of the knowledge gap. The knowledge gap hypothesis was first proposed by Philip Tichenor in 1970. Tichenor believes that knowledge gap refers to the fact that people with high socioeconomic status can often obtain information faster than those with low socioeconomic status. Therefore, the more information transmitted by the mass media, the more the knowledge gap between the two will expand. With the development of the internet, digital divide has become more and more common. It's even become an issue that cannot be ignored. Digital divide is not just the difference in information infrastructure. The use of digital technology and electronic services between or within countries. It involves the gap between the rich and the poor, the amount of information resources, capital, culture, employment, and quality of life in the entire society. From a social perspective, Internet users and those who do not use the Internet form a new social stratification, which impacts the traditional social structure and affects all aspects of national, social, and group development. From an international perspective, developed countries and developing countries' information technology gap has continued to widen, and the digital divide has even exceeded the gap between the rich and the poor. Paul DiMaggio believes that the performance of the digital divide can be summarized in the following four aspects. A. Access. Internet access is restricted by the construction of information infrastructure and the cost of hardware and software. Economic differences are a major factor leading to the digital divide. B. Basic skills. Differences in operating techniques can be also lead to the emergence of a digital divide. C. Content. The content of the media determines the digital divide between groups. D. Desire. Motivation and interest affect the choices of the audience, which creates a digital divide between online users. As a developed country, the United States was the first to face this problem, and they have also tried a solution. In 1969, the U.S. government launched a supplementary education program trying to improve the educational conditions of poor children through mass communication. For example, Sesame Street is an animated cartoon launched to narrow the education gap between children. It turns out that although the cartoon has had a good educational effect on both rich and poor children, the richest children are the ones who have the most exposure and use of the program. As a result, the education gap has been widened. On December 4th of 2011, Susan Crawford, former Special Assistant to President Obama of the United States, first proposed the concept of new digital divide in the New York Times. She pointed out that due to the popularization of network access, the traditional digital divide has a great improvement, but the new digital divide has appeared, and its impact is getting bigger and bigger. Although more than 79% of Americans can access the internet through various methods, different users choose different access due to income gap. Access methods and internet speeds are also very different. At the same time, there are huge differences in the behavior of users using the internet. Different family education also leads to different users' habits, which makes users have huge differences in information acquisition and information participation. The digital divide in this new situation is more destructive and more difficult to bridge. It's a reflection of social injustice existing in the era of new media on the internet. Technology is indeed improving our lives now. Artificial intelligence robots are being used at Zhejiang University. You can make an appointment with it to pick up your delivery, and it will deliver it to your dormitory at that time. In the process of his actions, he can automatically avoid cars and people, which brings a lot of convenience to the students. At the end, for digital divide, my personal opinion is that the society as a whole must take necessary measures to enable all members of society to obtain information in a balanced manner. The government should provide support policies in underdeveloped areas to promote the popularization of hardware and software facilities. And finally, we should cultivate the media use skills of the entire society and strengthen education.